And it's Tuesday, it's another episode of Garage419. I'm Matt Farah. Today on the show we're going to be talking about the new LP640 SV, a stolen and recovered Ferrari 25 years later, and the new Chevy Volt. Joining me on the program, Mr. Mike Musto. Welcome.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Stick around for a second, and we're going to get talking. So, Mike, it's been a while since you've been on the show. Why don't you explain to myself and our viewers exactly what is Mr. Angry Inc.?
Sure. You know, we started getting a lot of inquiries into pro touring cars and how to take, you know, these older Dodges and Chevys and everything and making them kind of go, stop, and handle like a modern car.
Okay.
You know, we spent, I guess, about 2 to 3 years really developing my 68 Charger, and we had a gentleman come along and said, okay, well, you know, if you could build anything you'd like, what would you build? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how our new 69 Dodge Daytona came along.
And that's a serious a piece of automotive artwork there.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, it's a car that's not for everybody. I mean, the car's over 19 feet long. It's got just about a 4-foot wing on the back with a nose cone, so it looks like a space shuttle.
19 feet, that's actually like longer than a Suburban, isn't it?
Yeah, it's enormous. It's
Yeah.
enormous. But the fact that it's such an outlandish looking car, and you know, it's interesting, everybody knows what like a Charger looks like.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what a Daytona is. They look at it and they think it's a kit car, they think it's something you put together in your garage, where it's a real production car that Dodge actually made in 1969. And they raced them for 1 year in NASCAR, and then they banned them because the damn things
They were too fast, right?
Too fast, yeah.
So you developed this car as a way to sell components for other Mopar cars, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're not, you know, I'm not going to say that we're building cars from the ground up, because that's not what we do. Basically, what we do is we take existing cars, modify suspension components with really off-the-shelf stuff. So, for instance, our Daytona runs, we still run torsion bars, we still run like, you know, Coney shocks and sway bars and stuff like that, but we run Viper brakes. So our biggest thing for these cars is reliability. You can take the car, drive it across country. You know what? If it breaks down, go to a Dodge dealer, get a part.
Viper brakes, all the good stuff, you can pick it all up at any Dodge dealer. So, but this is the kind of the way you throw it together that really sets it apart, right?
Well, it's a lot of it is the testing. Most of these custom shops, they manufacture a car and they build a one-off car, and they give it to the owner, and they have loads and loads of problems with the cars, because one thing that people don't do is they don't test cars. You know, a company like GM or Ford spend millions and millions of dollars on testing their stuff and doing research and stuff. When you're building a one-off, your main goal is to present it to a customer and say, okay, well, this is a turnkey car. You're not going to overheat in traffic, and you're not going to be blowing oil out of this, and you're not going to be doing that.
And you do that by driving it around New York
We drive
City.
it, yeah. So if we build a car for somebody, we'll tell them, listen, you're going to get a car with 700,000 to 800,000 miles on it. And
Right,
the reason
at least they
for
know
that,
it works.
Yeah, it works, and it's testing and testing and testing. This way, there's no BS in the car. They get it, they turn the key, and they go. They enjoy
Sounds
it.
awesome.
That's
So,
fun.
MrAngryInc.com, I assume?
MrAngryInc.com.
So, let's get to the news, though. We got a lot to talk about today. We better get to it before we run out of time already.
Yeah, I know.
Lamborghini released a sort of a teaser shot of the rear end of a car, unidentified, caused a bunch of controversy or rumors about, was it a sedan, what is this thing? There was later a press release saying it was going to be the Murcielago LP640 Super Veloce, which means really friggin' fast, okay? So basically what they're saying is 30 to 40 extra horsepower, a lot of weight shed off the car, and a gigantic price tag.
Yeah.
Would you pay for something like this?
No, because the price is somewhere, it's how much over a standard?
Well, it's 380,000 euros, which is about 500 grand. I'm not doing the math right now.
Okay, so you're paying at least 100,000 over what you would pay for a standard Murcielago.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you're going to get another 30 horsepower out of that.
Right. Which basically you could accomplish with an exhaust on one of those cars.
Right. So it's either buy a 200 mile an hour or 203 mile an hour car, whatever a standard Murcielago does, or say you've got the biggest in the room and spend another 100 grand and have a car that does 210 miles an hour. I don't really.
I mean, at that level though,
it's not really. I'm not feeling it.
Well, but I've driven the Gallardo and I've driven the Gallardo Superleggera, and the Superleggera is a much better car. I mean, the numbers, you know, it's only got 100 pounds less or whatever it is, but the way that it's set up and tuned and presented actually makes a much better finished package. So I feel like this LP640 SV could really be a much better total package in terms of a performance car.
You know what? I'm yes and no. I think it's going to come down to the person who's buying it. If you're a collector and you need to have the latest and greatest, and you know you want to hold on to this car, fine. Okay, go out and spend the extra 100 grand for this thing. If in 10 years you think you're going to sell it and make some money.
Yeah.
Or if you're a really die-hard, say, track guy, and you want the best. But
the Merc is never the best track car.
No,
but
it's
you never
not,
know. It might turn it around.
I mean, the Merc isn't really a great road car either. I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's all show. Again, there are very few people that use these cars. It is badass, but how many people actually buy these cars and use them for what they're intended to?
I can think of 3 or 4. Anyway, the price is 380,000 euros. They're making 100 of these cars, and we haven't seen a full shot yet. But hopefully they let us give us
a body kit.
They give us a peek into those suits. No, it's not a Reventon. It performs better.
It'll be a body kit.
Performs better. Anyway, apparently there was a Ferrari stolen many years ago when it wasn't really worth that much. It was a 250 PF. And it was just recovered last week in Sharon, Connecticut.
Yeah, this is great.
This is great. The car is now worth $4 to $5 million. And get this, the original owner that it was stolen from never made an insurance claim on the car because he believed that one day the car would be returned to him. Well, and it has.
You know what? I think he actually did make a claim, but the company, if I'm not mistaken, didn't want to give him what the car was worth, and he turned it down. He said, you know what, I'm not going to take it. Because he knew he had something special, and it's such a rare car that it's going to eventually pop back up on the Ferrari radar.
Yeah.
Which is what it did, and now the car's worth how much? I mean,
$4 to $5 million by current estimates.
You know, so this guy is laughing all the way to the bank now.
Oh yeah, they found it when the current owner, who was from Sharon, Connecticut, was trying to sell it for only 500 grand. Now you got to assume that he knows something is up when he's trying to unload a classic Ferrari for 1/10 of what the estimated value is.
Sure.
I mean, you know, he claims he didn't know, but you got to call him.
You know what, man? I mean, if you're that would be like going out and selling like a Hemi Cuda for like 30 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't do it. Somebody's going to call foul, and somebody's going to call the authorities. So I mean, you're going to get nicked for that.
And especially with sites like Ferrari Chat and places like that, there are many fanatical people that know VIN numbers and serial numbers and engine block codes. You know, someone is going to see when a car like that comes up for sale. Someone who knows better is going to see it and call you out on it.
It's not 20 years ago, 30 years ago when the internet didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's every piece of information
the
is available.
The internet is call out central.
Ah, dude, you can't do anything now without people finding out if you're lying or not.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk about the biggest news in cars this week, the 2010 or 11 Chevy Volt. Stick around. We are back with Mike Musto, Mr. Angry from MrAngryInc.com. Now, Mike, biggest news of the week is the final production version release of the Chevy Volt.
Yeah.
Okay, which they are calling an extended range electric vehicle.
I mean, it's a hybrid. I mean, I know that GM wants to create a new genre of cars.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, you have an electric motor and you have a gas motor.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid. One can't work without the other.
Well,
that's the way it is.
I disagree because the hybrid, the gasoline engine, does not drive the wheels at all. It's really an electric car that has a built-in gas-powered generator.
Okay, and that I can understand. However, if you're gonna have an electric car, make an electric car. You plug it in and you leave the house. Okay.
Right, but the main problem for years with electric cars is what happens if it dies somewhere.
Exactly.
This car doesn't have that problem because with the gas engine that's there, you can always get home, and if you're far away, you can always refill the gas engine to charge the batteries further.
But that's exactly my point. If you have a gas engine and you have an electric engine, it's a hybrid. You have a synergy of two technologies working together. So I understand their marketing and I understand they want to call it extended range. The fact of the matter is, I think it's more marketing than anything else. But I mean,
obviously there's some marketing there. I don't know. I like the term hybrid to apply to when the gas engine and the electric engine both drive the wheels, which doesn't happen here. Only the electric engine actually drives the wheels.
Correct.
But either way, I mean, it's a pretty cool little car. You know,
it's
got
absolutely
all these different conveniences in it. That supposedly has a GPS system that knows how far you are from home, so it can maximize how much to charge the batteries. So that basically the whole point of the car is that you drive it so that when you get home, the batteries are basically dead. So you never use the gas engine. You get 40 miles for a charge on the electric engine alone.
Right, and I think that works out to be about 80 cents, I think,
Yeah,
on a full charge and
right.
210.
I mean, look, if you're the kind of person that is a train person, like in New York, a lot of these people take the train to work. If you are one of those kind of people and it's 10 miles each way to the train station, all you got to do, you plug it in, you drive it home, and you are never ever buying gas as long as you've got this car.
Yeah,
you know, as long as that's what it's there for.
I think the Volt's going to appeal to a different kind of crowd. You know, if you work, say, 15, 20 miles from your house, I think it's a great car. I really, truly do, because you can make it to and from work on one charge. That's going to cost you like 80 cents.
And I mean, even if it's 23 miles or 24 miles each way, you know, you're only using
you're fine.
You know, not even 1 gallon of gas to get there and back.
Absolutely.
So that, I mean, it's a good little toy. It's a good functional car for someone who doesn't drive very often and wants to, you know. They claim you can save up to $1,500 a year on gas because if you are within that distance, you might never have to buy gas ever.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I believe that. If you're single, you know, and you don't use this
What
thing.
does being single have to do with it?
Well, because if you're single,
I'm single, I drive everywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
I'm
well,
constantly
let's put it
driving.
this way: if you have a family, okay, you're driving the kids here, you're driving them there, you're doing grocery shopping, okay. If you're a commuter, meaning you go from the house to the train, back to the house, okay, and then maybe some odd errands here and there, you can basically roll back, go to the train station, go home, plug your car in for a couple hours, still have a full charge.
Yeah, so
you
you're
know.
good.
So if the majority of your driving consists of you know, under 40-mile jaunts, you're good, man, and you can save. I really think you'll be able to save that money.
I think probably the best thing about the Volt is that it actually shows that the GM is really able to be an innovator as opposed to an imitator, which is what they, you know, new European-inspired handling or you know, Japanese-inspired reliability, that kind of stuff. I think they're at least making the effort to take the next step in developing new technologies, and you know, I hope it sells. I hope they sell a ton of them.
I agree with you. I mean, if it can prove to be a reliable car, and I think it will really have a great market following. I'll be honest, I don't get excited about a lot of things, but I'm really kind of excited to see what this thing is. And see how it
looks cool. It looks like it's got a lot of functionality to it for someone who just needs that commuter car.
Yeah.
It's time for the question of the week, and actually it's related to the Chevy Volt. I want to know, and we've been in touch with GM's product manager for the Chevy Volt, so I'm going to get in touch with him directly. What do you want to see the Volt do? How would the Volt work for you? What features do you want to see out of it? What do you want, you know, what is your function that you would need this electric car to satisfy? Leave a comment, hit us up right in the box down here. And Mike, thanks for being on the show, dude.
My pleasure, man. Thanks.
Hey, by the way, you're gonna race at the Garage419 Invitational, right?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, dude. To get in one of those carts and really kind of rip it up a little bit. It's a lot of fun. So
fun times, man. On for a good charity, Racing for Research. Check them out. And if you want to donate to the race, you can do that at Garage419.com up in the Invitational section at the top there. Still a few more spots left, so keep those applications coming in. And that's Sunday, October 26th. Even if you can't get in the race, come to Grand Prix New York and check it out. We're all going to be there. There's going to be badass cars in the parking lot. Trust me, I'm going to have all the rides out there. Until next time, I'm Matt Farah. I'm out of here.
Thanks.